This happened years ago, about a month after my 18th birthday. It's all kind of a blur story-wise, but I remember the twisted feeling in my stomach and the sound of my heartbeat in my ears like it happened yesterday. Growing up, I had a lot of trouble managing my emotions. I spent a lot of time in psychiatric centres and intensive outpatient programs. This was my first and hopefully last stay in the adult psychiatric wing. A long time ago, on a Saturday night, I had a crisis that resulted in my mom driving me to the emergency room. We were in a little room in the psychiatric wing when the social worker came in to conduct the interview. I usually send my mom out of the room for them because I think hearing those sorts of discussions in my state of mind would upset her, so I asked to do the interviews alone. I wish I'd thought about where I was and who I was with before I had done so. A nurse escorted her to another room, and the interview was conducted. By the time it was over, it was 1 or 2 a.m. There were no clocks in there, and I started to nod off fairly quickly. At some point I woke up with the sensation that I had been startled awake. Groggily I glanced towards the door. It had a big square window, and peering through it was a man in a hospital gown, maybe early 50s, staring blankly at me. When I met his gaze, he just kept staring. I felt my heart pounding out of my chest while I was frozen with fear. We just stared at each other for what felt like an eternity. I don't remember falling asleep again, but at some point I did. Sometime later, I woke up again with an uneasy feeling. I opened one eye and peeked towards the door, and there he was. I saw this man staring at me again. I was tired, I was scared, and honestly, all I wanted was my mum. So I just closed my eyes and pretended to be asleep. I didn't know what else to do. After a little bit I heard the squeak of sneakers approach, and a kind nurse's voice. She asked the man, "Is everything okay?" And the man replied, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm just taking a walk." I guess that freaked him out, because the next time I took a peek at the door, he was gone. To this day I have no idea how long he was actually standing there for. All I know is that eventually, a little while later, I was woken up by a nurse to switch rooms. Middle-aged Joe Goldberg, let's not meet again. My roommate is part of a cult. He's, trying to get into my room right now. I don't know if I'll have time to finish this. If someone finds my phone, the password is 2746. You can take everything, just, please, post this somewhere. Anywhere. They can't do this to anyone else. His name is Roman. When I moved in, he was just a quiet guy with a black backpack and hollow eyes. Never smiled, never left his room after 2 a.m. I thought he was just an introvert. But last night, while he was in the shower, I heard something coming from his room. Not music, not a conversation. It was a prayer, repeated almost sobbing in a language that shouldn't exist. I recorded a bit of it. I'm too scared to listen again. There are symbols scratched beneath his bed. I found my name in one of them, written in blood. I didn't know how to react. I freaked out and tried to ignore Roman. Earlier tonight, the doorknob turned slowly. No knocking, no calling my name, just turning, like he was checking if I was still awake. I ran and locked the door, pushed the dresser against it. The sound stopped, but now there are footsteps in the hallway. He's pacing back and forth. Sometimes he stops right in front of the door, just stands there, silent, then goes back to the kitchen. Except I heard 2 voices. One was his, the other one, I don't know. It couldn't be the TV. It's impossible. There's someone else here. Maybe more than one. I didn't hear the front door open, let alone close. Someone got in, and I don't know how. Roman isn't alone. I don't know what they're planning. I don't know if they're planning something for me. I never should have found out. I live on the 3rd floor. No one gets in through the window, but maybe I'll have to go out that way. I just called the police. The operator told me to stay calm, said they're sending a patrol car, but I know this neighbourhood. It'll take time, maybe too much time. I tried texting my sister, just a simple something's wrong, but the message wouldn't send. Then my screen froze, not cracked, not glitched, just stuck, like something didn't want me to speak out. When it finally cleared, all my past messages with her were gone, like I never had a conversation with her in the first place. I told myself it was panic, that I was imagining things. But then the lights flickered, not like a power surge. Every bulb dimmed at once, slow, deliberate, like the entire apartment was holding its breath. The window's too high to just jump. I don't know if I'll make it, so I'm leaving this here. They're trying to break in, pounding like they're ready to tear the door off its hinges. If I disappear, I want someone to find this. I want someone to understand what's going on, what they're doing. I can't be the only one. One more time. His name is Roman. We live at 1342 Hollow Creek Drive, Building 3, Apartment 204 in Portland, Oregon. He's white, 5'10", blonde hair and eyes that never seem to blink. He might look harmless, but he's not. Please find them. The dresser won't hold much longer. There are no thermostats in hell. These guys down here just keep the heat coming. Who cares how hot it gets, as long as we're all suffering, right? And oh, do we suffer? Up there on the surface, they don't really emphasize the heat. First, it melts your eyes. It's pretty much instantaneous. All the jelly inside of them evaporates and the world turns black. You scratch at the empty bone sockets beneath the eyebrows you've vainly plucked to perfection hundreds of times in your life, only to find dry, papery mush in there. Blind and afraid, you try to scream, but quickly realize that you can't. The moisture has been sucked out of your entire body, beginning with your mouth, throat and lungs. All that escapes your throat is an inaudible groan of anguish. No one hears you. The roar of the inferno around you intensifies any time you attempt to sense something other than your own misery. And then, suddenly you're able to see again. You wish you couldn't. The sights before your eyes, which have reformed in their sockets but are now oozing blood and pus, are just, well, incomprehensible to your feeble mortal mind. You want to escape, to run, to, cease to exist. The colours and shapes of the scene around your body are not congruous with the world you remember. By the way, you do remember every minute detail from your mortal life. A particular memory consumes your mind. The way your stepfather beat you senseless with his oversized leather belt for spending too much time on his trailer's only functional toilet. You feel the whelps rise up again on your back, arms and neck. The side of your face feels the impact of his steel-toed work boot as you lie helpless on the filthy living room carpet. You'd had a bad stomach bug that week that had really torn your insides up. You hadn't meant to spend 10 minutes in the bathroom. Time had flown by while you strained against the bare porcelain where a seat should have been. You remember the exact sensation of that burn as well. You feel it down there, intensified 1,000,000 trillion times. You simply want to die. But you're already dead, it would seem. You're in hell after all. There was a time in which you were happy, but you shouldn't have been. You now know the horrible thoughts and feelings all your friends had about you. You hear, clearly and unexpectedly loudly, the frequent conversations about their useless, idiot friend, and you know they mean you. They always hated your guts. You were an annoyance, always a burden, and they didn't pity you whatsoever. They kept you around just in case they needed someone to take the fall for one of their mistakes. You hear your own mother, sitting comfortably with the other mothers up there on the bleachers at your football games, agreeing that you are worthless and you should never have been born. You had heard similar words screamed at you from her mouth before, but you can't fathom how she would share such a sentiment with the other mums in town. You feel a new emptiness in your heart, a weight like an overflowing garbage truck running you over, and a loneliness incomparable to the emotions of living men. By this point your eyes have disintegrated and reformed thousands of times. Your flesh is flayed open and peeled away by forces invisible to you, only to grow back atop the underlying muscle tissue from which pours blood in streams, falling to puddles around your deformed, broken feet. You scratch the itching flesh as it jellifies on your arms, but your nails are sprouting from their beds at several feet per second, twisting and spiralling into thorny brambles that tear at your sinewy tissue. You feel each and every bone inside of you repeatedly shatter and distortedly glue itself back together under the oppressive heat and pressure of this place as the weight of your body bears down on the mangled shards. You remember cutting the lawn in the scorching Alabama summer heat. The push mower took an hour to start. Pulling that cord over and over was far more exercise than you were ever forced to perform in gym class. The muscles in your arms burn with unholy fire before you even shove the mower over an imperial foot of dying beige grass. You don't dare look back toward the house. He'll be there staring straight at you, waiting for you to make another mistake. Fear propels you forward. Imperceptible rocks fly backward and impale against your legs and feet. He didn't let you wear shoes out here. Calluses make a man, you know. You would give anything for a sip of cool water. Hell, you'd settle for room temperature. This heat is killing you. A comedic thought flickers for just a moment through your mind. Why won't somebody turn down the thermostat? Oh, right, there are no thermostats in hell.